Behold, the Volksmask or Volksmask 44. This was the last ditch German World War II civilian gas mask. As you can see, it's not in the best of condition, but it's actually in good enough condition, which is actually quite nice. So the Volksmask is kind of interesting. Now, I've done videos before on the VM47 and the VM44, and I'll show those again in this video to give you an idea of how low in quality this one is compared to the other ones. However, it does look like it would have been fully functional. So essentially this mask is very, very simple. You've got a canvas sort of face piece, which I think may have a bit of rubber sort of stitched inside it, but the mask is primarily a canvas material, which I guess was meant to be impermeable. You can see it there from the inside. Obviously the anti-fog lenses inside have long since sort of discoloured horribly, but it does seem that the eyepieces are actually in a fairly good condition. Now I'm just seeing there, will these pieces come out? Because if they will, because one of them's already sort of partially falling out, if I can get that out, yeah, I'll get this one out. So obviously I'll keep these with it, but these obviously haven't aged all that well compared to the actual glass. So there we go, that's what the lens should look like. These were the anti-fog inserts, but this is basically what happens to an anti-fog insert over time. The celluloid just clouds up horribly. So now I'll get the other one out. Again, with historical masks, I never really know if I should do that or not, but the mask will look better if I take those out. I might clean the lenses up a bit. Now, sort of as I said, this was a last-ditch Nazi German mask for sort of the end of World War II. And the idea was that the more expensive rubberized masks were costing more to basically, you know, keep. So what they ended up doing, or produce to be honest, so what they ended up doing was making something like this. So this is a very, very simple mask. You've literally got an intake valve there and an outtake valve there, so in some ways it's still better quality than the British masks. And I'm pretty sure this is a 40mm screw thread, so let's just test that. So here we go, here's a modern NATO 40mm filter. Let's see if this will screw in. Amazing, there we go. So there's the Volksmask with a modern filter on it. So, as I said, this was basically a last-ditch Nazi German effort at making a gas mask, because obviously they realised a bit too late that logistically the best thing to do is make very, very cheap masks. Now, I think the stamps are still surviving on here. There's a bit of what looks like a G on that bit. There you go, you can see that bit there. And I'm pretty sure there was a swastika stamp on this that the seller had photographed. I'm just going to see if I can find it. Yeah, there we go. It's on this bit. So, as you can see there, that's pretty faded, but it is still on there, the Reich Eagle or whatever it's called. I'm pretty sure it has a more complicated name than that. So there's a little bit of rubber in the straps. That's about it. So there's a similar strap system to some of the French masks. Now, as much as I'd never normally do it with a mask this old, I am going to try putting it on. If it will fit me. If it looks like it might damage the mask, I won't bother, but I reckon this might just about fit me. So what I'm going to do first is pull it like that, put that over like that. Now I think this isn't going to fit me. What I might end up doing, there you go, that's what the mask would sort of look like on if it was a better fit, would be obviously held on, but what I might do is put a load of paper in here to try and get it to go back out to its original shape a bit more. But yeah, it's an interesting mask, and as I said, this was a last-ditch Nazi German mask. I'll fully undo the straps actually, just in case that helps. Although I want to be very careful again undoing these straps, because due to the age of the mask, if you're not careful undoing straps like this, you can often break the mask, as I found out before. Yeah, I was very lucky I got this quite cheaply on eBay, because not many people bid on it. But yeah, it's the Volksmask or Volksmask 44. And as I said, last-ditch Nazi German attempt at making a mask, sort of towards the end of the war. And again, it would have served its purpose, but obviously you can see it's quite a lot lower in quality than the other masks. So again, as I said, I'm just going to try and see if I can get these straps a bit looser. But a lot of the things on this mask don't really want to move due to age. This one isn't in too bad condition, all things considered, to be honest, you know, as I said, because these aren't high quality masks. And I've always found these pretty cool, because this shows, you know, just how cheaply you can make a gas mask. But again, it's still sort of a better quality than the British World War II one, so that does say something about German engineering, I guess. So let me just pull this bit through there. Does this want to actually feed through properly? There we go. This strap's actually moving, so let me very carefully do this because I don't want to damage anything due to the age of the mask. Right, that's that one done. Now let's see if I feed this one through a bit more, if I can get that other strap to pull through. Because what I want to do is just try and get the straps as loose as possible, and then see if I can actually get it on. I could even see if it still works, which might be interesting. I doubt it somehow, but if I put a vapour filter on, I can see if I can smell banana oil through it, so there's always that. Let's just see if I can get this strap to... This strap doesn't really want to move, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately this strap just really doesn't want to seem to move, so I won't try and move that one anymore, but yeah. So, as I said, this is a bit of a rambling video because I'm sort of examining the mask as I talk about it. The last ditch mask of Nazi Germany, I don't think this is issued to soldiers. It was basically designed as a civilian mask. I think it was technically called the Luftschutz VM44, but anyway, that's sort of starting to look a bit more like a mask now. So there's the inside view of it. As you can see, the lenses aren't too bad, especially if I clean them up a bit. Now I've taken out the really faded fog inserts. So intake valve at the bottom there, exhale valve on the side. Now let me show you how these have descended in quality from the original VM37. So here we have an original VM37, and you can see that this basically is the full-on rubber hood, similar to a GP5. So much higher in quality. I've taken the asbestos out. I'll hold my breath when I put it on, but just to show you. That's the VM37. So much higher in quality than the VM44, as you can see. Now, as the war went on, into obviously 1940, so near the start of World War II, they came up with this design, which was the VM40. Same face piece as the VM37, just changed with straps to that, but still rubber face piece. Then of course you have this, which is just a bit of canvas. But again, it probably would have done its job. As I said, I don't think it will fit me, unfortunately, but we'll just try again. Oh, there we go. That's sort of on. I don't know if that will pull over fully, but what I'll do now, there you can see the mask on my face. What I'll do is I'll try and put a modern 40mm filter on and just see if the banana oil gets through. I imagine it will, just due to the age of the materials. But yeah. As it's a World War II German mask, it does have a 40mm thread inside, which is actually pretty damn useful. So let's give it a quick test. Right, here we go. I've got a normalised mask pole filter on there. I'm pretty sure the mask isn't pressurising at all. No, I'm pretty sure there's probably air leaking in around these celluloid lenses, but whatever, let's get the banana oil just to see what happens. But this should be fairly interesting anyway, just to see. You can smell that banana oil, definitely. Yeah, getting a big whiff through there. I think the exhale valve might actually be broken. Yeah, I can smell it through there. I think I can smell it through the eyepieces, actually. Yeah, I can smell it through the eyepieces. So yeah, this mask unfortunately doesn't still work, but that would be asking quite a lot to actually have this mask still working. But yeah, VM44 is quite interesting simply because it was a last-ditch Nazi German mask, and it was made very, very cheaply. But it's not all that terrible, as said. If I just get this off again. It's not all that terrible. I mean, it would have worked back in the day. Considering how old this is and how cheaply these are made, it's still in pretty good condition, all things considered. If you look at that, obviously you can see that the mask itself is still there. If I clean the eyepieces out, you can see that they're not actually all that bad. So yeah, there we go, a VM44 if you want to see, I'll just put the original filters on them. I won't breathe through this because this would have contained asbestos and other nasty stuff. But just to show you what it would have looked like with its original filter, or the sort of style of civil defence filters they had back in the day. There we go. So, yeah, I was very lucky to get this for the price I got it for. As to that, and ended up being only about £10 with the postage on. But that was just sheerly down to luck that a lot of people didn't bid on this mask. But, yeah, the VM44 is probably still a better standard mask than the British civilian masks of World War II. Not as good as the British civilian duty masks, but, yeah, it's a pretty fascinating thing if you're interested in, you know, what a German World War II mask would have looked like at the end of the war. How cheaply they were being made, it's this. But again, the canvas material on this has held up pretty well, certainly better than the military GM30s did. It looks like on the inside there, it would have had that bit for the asbestos ring on the inside, just to show you what I mean. If you look at the bottom of the mask there, see there's this kind of circular bit around the intake valve. That's generally where they put a ring of asbestos to, it was to absorb sweat as far as I'm aware, and moisture from the mask. But yeah, so there you are, a VM44, a Volksmask or Volksmask 44, last ditch mask of Nazi Germany. Sorry this has been a bit of a rambling video, but I've just sort of been talking about it as I've gone along. Yeah, it's an absolutely fascinating thing. I'm very pleased to have this. I'll probably put this one on display somehow if I can display it safely, without a risk of damaging the mask, but yeah, pretty fascinating thing.